Now we're going to move on to the real and defining the real using railway diagrams, the same as what we did with EBNF. So we start off where the number can either have a sign or not have a sign at the front. So what we're doing is we have the two possible tracks or options, one with a sign and one without. And that's always going to be followed by a number. So with a real, there's always a number. Now that could be just it. So either have a sign or not sign followed by a number. So an example is 8, and that would be a perfect example of a real. Or +8, when we have a sign followed by another number. Or we end it with a dot, digit, followed by a number. Now to do that, we have to have the option of a dot followed by a number. So the number is a digit, multiple digits. So what we have now is we have either a sign or no sign, followed by a number, followed by either nothing, or a dot followed by a number. So there we have a real being defined. What we have here is looking at two examples where the syntax of PHP has been defined as either a railway diagram, which is a syntax diagram, or as EBNF. And the example here is an additive expression. So here you can see the additive expression of both the railway diagram and EBNF is used to describe how you write that. This will be used by a program to actually know how they can actually correctly write the additive expression in order to avoid syntax errors. Finally, we have a past HSC question where we're looking at, for this railway diagram for an equation, which of the following four EBNF options is the same. So this equation has a variable followed by a semicolon and equals, and then we have either a digit or a variable, which is null. Following that, we can actually have a loop. You can see this loops around through an operator back to variable and digit. And after that, we have an or an option, where it either does the semicolon or not. So we have to work out which ones of these are correct. All of them correctly start with an equation, and they all then are defined to be variables, so all four of those is correct. And all four of them have the equals, semicolon equals, which is correct. Now we're looking at which one of these has the or, and the or symbol is the pipe. So we have to work out which ones of these has the correct pipe symbol between the digit and variable. So A and B don't, but C and D do. They're correct. And so we can cross out A and B there. Now we have a loop back around. So the loop has to loop around with the curly brackets and loop from operator, then have a variable or digit. And you'll see here that C and D both actually are correct there. And finally, after that, we have to have an optional, which is your square brackets. So that semicolon is going to be contained within the square brackets. And C is correct, whereas D has curly brackets, which is incorrect because it says it's a loop. So the answer there is C. So C correctly describes, using EBNF, the same as the railway diagram. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. I'm Philip, and good luck.